are two things you should be aware of when it comes to your home country. First, you must keep an eye on your domestic unrest mentioned earlier, as in the thing that ended Vietnam. Unrest increases when standoffs against the Soviet Union regularly escalate to dangerous levels. The public will start to think you're going to plunge them into a nuclear war, and they won't stand for it, as in you'll get unelected, also known as impeached, if you're lucky. Unrest also increases when your nation finds itself in several long protected wars. The United States is constantly in state of war, the public appetite for conflict will wane, and your leadership will suffer. It really, in the United States, it more depends on whether or not people die, because you can fight wars all you want, as long as no one really dies, who cares? Or they don't cost nearly that much. Trump wars in Africa, for one. And then the war of Afghanistan. Like, how many times have people cared about ending that war? Okay, maybe all the time, but like there have been protests in the streets about ending the war recently. So yeah, because the United States being so far within the action doesn't matter. Now, if they were going to invade, that'd be another thing entirely, or another world war. But yeah, no, again, it's fine for gameplay purposes where everyone's equal, but still. One thing you should be aware of is you can always spend AP on the space race in hopes of bettering Soviets to the moon. Yes, please. Putting a satellite in space will give you access to their intelligence in countries that follow the satellite's flight path and make it a little easier to eliminate rebel spies in those same countries. Putting an American on the moon first will move your victory marker closer to us by 2 steps. All right. Go ahead and spend 1 AP on your space program. How do I do such things? Ah. Notice America has moved a little bit up the orbital satellite trap. Every little bit helps with our action points. Spend the coup was expensive. Let's end the turn and see what Soviets do. Then we'll give you a few final pointers. Okay. Oh, Cuba. Soviet Union has formed a defense pact of Cuba and stationed a large quantity of troops there. Cuban Missile Crisis, gotcha. The Soviets placed troops in Cuba and Suriname. We had no major plans for either country, so let's ignore these developments for now. Yeah, I mean, they're an ally of theirs. I mean, just troops. I mean, are they thinking we'll invade? Or are they wanting to launch an attack? The Soviets place troops in countries that are loyal to them has only one purpose: planning our invasion of those countries. American and Soviet troops may never directly fight each other, obviously. As, again, that might escalate into a nuclear war, it might not. Just saying. I mean, but anyway. Doing so will escalate this Cold War into a total war between two nuclear-armed rivals. That's definitely the rules of the game, though. We have 3 spies to work with, and so do the Soviets. It's possible those spies are out there in the world now, so it will be prudent to try to figure out where they are. Fighting killing a spy is game-changing play. Agents are not only essential for coups and insurgencies, having them in reserve also increases the likelihood that your rivals' own coups and insurgents become challengeable. Losing spies seriously limits your options. Okay. We'll have to watch where the insurgency and coup actions are happening to start narrowing down and spy locations. We also have another tool in our toolkit. You can find out what regions are known to have spies in them by infiltrating the KGB. That's fine by me. KGB. Regions where Soviet Union agents are deployed. 32 gigabytes of RAM. Like, it's so nice, but also it hurts so much in games that can't limit themselves. Like, this is something that you all encounter if you do if you do really retro games, as in 80s and 80s and early 90s games, because they were never meant to be used with more than gigabyte of RAM. So yeah, by infiltrating KGB, you get a report on what regions contain at least one Soviet spy. In this case, there's at least one spy somewhere in South America. There's a lot of possibilities for now, so we may want to keep. I'm thinking it's you. Because that's where they move troops to, but maybe not. But they move troops. That's probably not the case. There's a lot of possibilities. For now, we may want to keep our own spies out there. Remember, entering an area occupied by enemy spy will result in your spy's death. Enemy spy will be returned to your reserve. Or to their reserves. Okay. While invading a country, it's considered a very interesting measure to end Precipice. It would be prudent to cover it next in this tutorial, so we're going to launch an all-invasion of Vietnam, just to establish how invasions work. I like how chill they are about, like, oh, this is, like, oh, we're doing historical events, but you don't need to worry about that. Invade Vietnam? Well, are you really? We will invade a country. We don't know what kind of resistance we'll face until we've already committed to the conflict. I mean, technically, what this would be the country already at civil war. Like, for example, like, who happened? They're in civil war, but they're stuck. They need someone to invade. The Soviets invade and help North Vietnam conquer the South. When they do that, then they get Red Vietnam. Or U.S. invades, fights in a war, and liberates North Vietnam. Liberates North Vietnam, equaling Blue Vietnam. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a pretty cool game mechanic where you do coups and sometimes end up in civil wars. Those civil wars can be basically whoever acts on it first or wants to act on it can actually engage in the war, and then you also got enemy agents going in and basically funding and helping train enemy forces. But again, I'm not quite sure how long these games are supposed to last anyway, so maybe my plans are insanely too complex and too long for these game sessions. But yeah, but that'd be pretty cool, like having like an extra, like having a complex mode where you got these more complicated things. But overall, I'm loving the game so far, though. When we invade a country, we don't know what kind of resistance we will face until we're committed to a conflict. Sending a single troop costs a single action point. Sending every troop on the outside war will cost an additional action point. Following turns, however, sending additional troops consists 2 action points, and it's more better to commit the troops you need in the turn you first invade. Also, the act of invading will eliminate most of our options until you can establish a new regime in country. When you commit your first troop, you'll see the sides depending on army uses. Sorry, my eyes are starting to get more watery. It's a bit harder to read, but anyway. Wars are waged as battle attrition, and also when I woke up, I had terrible acid reflux, so my that valve in my throat is very, very sore. I'm better now, but still. After every turn, you have a 3 in 1 chance of losing your troop, and the invading country has a 2 in 3 chance of losing theirs. If your troops are the last ones left in your country, the regime is changed to loyal to your interests. If you run out of troops to secure a country, you are left defeated and humiliated. While you're at war, your domestic unrest levels will rise. I mean, that's true. So I called that. I mean, but again, another mechanic they could add is propaganda, and also like getting rid of drafts and stuff like that. Getting rid of drafts, making the commanders respect human life better, stuff like that. And then you could end the war faster by being good people, or end the war faster by being so vicious. But then again, and if you be honorable during a war, people will, more countries will want to ally with you. If you're being more vicious during a war, more countries will go away from you, or actually go towards you if that's what they like. But yeah, unlike spies, troops that are killed every round return to your troop reserve, resulting in a new wave of new recruits. Every war can be won. I mean, actually, technically, it's the troop kills that should do the unrest. Because technically, people don't really care about a war unless people die in a war or it costs too much money and will bang up the country. Which makes wars fought with only mechanics, with only robots very scary, because who's going to care about the war if no one died in it? Besides, those on the ground or just sheer collateral damage. And then again, who will care if the world wars were just fought in open fields? So yeah, every war can be won, but it's a question of how long it will take, how much unrest you will experience, and how action points will be committed to make it happen. There are one further complication, however. Your rival can intervene in wars by training the armies of the invaded country, known as aiding partisans. Okay, it is in the game. Good. If they choose to spend 1 AP, you are likely to lose your troop as they are. For 3 AP, your troops are at disadvantage. Unfortunately, these actions can never be detected, but at least you can always do the same thing to them. Okay. Interesting. Send 4 troops to Vietnam. Where occasionally events will occur in Precipice that affect both superpowers, these could be global geopolitical changes outside of your control, or special situations that require your attention. And if one of these situations arises, fulfilling the demanded objectives will bring the victory point goal closer to you. Go ahead and click on the will event that has arisen. It is in the bottom with the exclamation mark on the right side of the screen. Okay. Oh, I see. Close if anyone over here ready. I can read that side. Their economies. Thailand, Vietnam, and South Korea have invested significantly in infrastructure needed to follow a export-driven economy. Their influence in the manufacturing sector is felt globally, and both countries are demanding more materials and can be secured locally. We can leverage our sizable economic network to support both nations with all goods, and expand our economic influence in the region as a consequence. Requirements met. Okay. Action turns this turn. Okay. Your intelligence service has uncovered compiling evidence that the Soviet Union is supporting a rebellion in the sovereign nation of Cambodia. How do you wish to respond? What does the tutorial say? Soviets just funded insurgencies in Colombia and Brazil. That's our backyard. We work so hard. Our Teddy Roosevelt worked so hard on that. Instead of challenging this action, let's use this information to our advantage. Ignore these developments. Okay. What you got planned? Your intelligence service has uncovered compelling evidence. Assuming there is only one spy there, and that spy didn't relocate between actions, they can be informed in 4 locations: Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, or Brazil. At 2 AP per guest, you can afford a couple counter spy operations. We might be fortunate and end up assassinating that spy. Click on Peru as a counter spy. I would think it would be Colombia. Like, sure. Of course. Yeah, see, that kind of blocks it. So the tutorial could move a bit to not be in the way of like it was in the middle of the resource part of that wool event, and got in the way of counter spy, so you couldn't really read it. Or can we do this round now? No look there. Let's try another guess. In Venezuela. It's showing you how. It's showing you how. Oh, it wasn't Venezuela. Okay. Got him. And that's why it's important to keep your agents mobile and your actions spread out. Okay. Instead of just, I want China to be blue. China be blue. Kind of. You don't want to do that. But anyway. And before you go, you should know that if you or your rival find yourself inclined to press that big red button and bring about the mutual assured destruction, there exists a possibility between 1 and 20 that your orders will fail, and instead of forcing mutual loss, you'll be immediately removed from power and prompt the victory for the other side. There is no way for you to win if you launch those weapons, but keep in mind that there's a possibility that may or may not be remote that your rival will. And just to keep things interesting, both you and your rival can see exactly what possibility is for the other player. Ooh, I like that. I like that. So you can always tick off. You can always tick off Premier Bear over there to press the button, and they turn off office, and then you get President Bear, and the actual People's Republic of, or wait, no, that's China. But no, the actual Republic of Russia. Or and then you'll get the Russian Federation later. But yeah, this concludes the tutorial. We've covered a lot here, but all the rules can be captured in our rule guide. Look at it in the top right-hand corner of the screen. If you need a refresher, yes. Okay. Overall, I like the game. From that tutorial, and there's multiplayer, which is nice. Single player. Where is it more? The allies of the Soviets have started. Has more allies of the Soviets have started work on advanced rocketry. Oh, that's good. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. As they did get Sputnik first, and it's the first satellite. Classic map. Plan routes should be trying allied nations by draft. Oh, players choose allied nations by draft. Okay. That'd be interesting. Each take their pick. American Hell, everyone's versus America. It's like, what did we do? Oh, we kind of failed at Hearts of Iron. All right, so yeah, let's I don't know how well I don't know how good my hard drive space is right now. Probably not good at all. So yeah, that'll be it for this video at least. I'll be returning with either one of two things. On launch day, if I still don't have enough hard drive space, I'll stream the game on launch day. If I have enough, I'll record it later. But yeah, my throat is ow because that's a reflex, and I just got up, and overall, today's just not one of those days for me. And to play a game which is meant to be played on a monitor next to you instead of on a TV 6 feet away from you, it just doesn't work, especially with my eyes. But anyway, so yeah. What do I think of Precipice? Well, I like it. I think the game could do with a bit more options when it comes to dealing with flipping nations from either side. But overall, no, I like it. I mean, it all makes sense, and it's all fun. It's all fun. It's all it's all it's all made in good spirits and fun. And overall, I know overall I can see me having a lot of fun with this game. Although since I like playing a certain playstyle and never deviate from it, hence my good guy runs and in Paradox and Total War games. But I mean, like, it's not nothing too. You don't do anything too bad in this game either. And yeah, it's just another nice it's just another nice Cold War game, but this time taking place in the historical Cold War, kinda. But yeah, do I think it's worth it? I don't know how much a game will be. I think they may have told me. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look it up. But my mouse computer actually shut down because Windows 10 decided to be Windows 10. Um, so I'll have to look it up later in my email. But regardless, anything below 40 should be good. I would think from my experience, my ability to project value. Because all this game really is how much can you get out of a board game? And I believe you can get a lot out of this game, trying different strategies, um, and stuff like that. Playing both sides, playing the draft allied mode will really add replay value. As you're picking your own allies, stuff like that. But yeah, no, we'll see. Well, and again, I don't think I said this before, but thank you developers for sending me a key of this game. Sorry that didn't really work with that didn't really work with my 32 gigabytes of RAM. So you might want to look into that. At least have an option for like VSync or something. I hear that works. I'm not quite sure though, but adding an option that says for high spec machines and just having the game having the game having the game's clock stuck or maxed out at a certain bit, so you can't or having the clock maxed out so you can't having the game's run clock maxed out so you can't run too fast um to prevent the music from sounding like it has a low bit rate or the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sounding more like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Um, but yeah, and again, sorry if I sounded weird today. Um, I'm just sick today, and I just woke up. I never record videos when I just wake up. And yeah, so but overall, I'll definitely get back to this game. I want to at least play some of it. I knew there was probably going to be an hour-long tutorial. Um, and I'm glad it was in the game, and it is a good tutorial. But yeah. Alright, so anyway, that'd be it for today. Thanks for watching. Also, thanks for watching. I appreciate watching these videos. Means a lot to me. Also, let me if you were to. It means a lot to me if you were to check out their Story their verse, and Libertas Publica. Um, I'm working on 2 settings, sci-fi one and the fantasy alt history steampunk one. At least that's the genre I'm settling in for that. Whereas sci-fi one I've been working on since I've been working on since I was very little, and the fantasy one I just started a few days ago. Um, and yeah, and I started on time for pitch, but both universes do have Cold Wars in them. And yes, I did say Cold Wars of a plural. As in the in the universe, the Cold Wars between the Allied Grand Unions of the EU, for reference, the NASACAL or North South Central American Union, which is pretty much the Americas that are loosely united, the African Union, which is more like which is a continent spanning superstate. Um, because of World War III really messed up Africa and they just decided to band together against the world kind of thing. Um, the Independent Arab Union, which is the Middle East minus Israel. After World War III, stuff has changed. Like, for example, Saudi Arabia is now a democracy, or well, a republic. Probably just a republic. Probably very close to probably very, very, very close to a Britain. Now that I think about it, but anyway. And they're independent to each other. They still kind of don't like each other. But they're mostly against the world. Then you got the Don Union, which is pretty much every Asian / Pacific country besides China. Um, and Russia, but that was more obvious. And then you got the Eastern Coalition, which is what they're going up against, which is the Union of Russia and China, who are forced to stay in their borders because they pretty much unleashed World War III, which was a war in which no nation was neutral. Every nation fought another nation. Mostly it was Eastern Coalition nations being allied together because they didn't like the guys next to them. In, you know who kind of thing. Um, but anyway, so man, they're kind of stuck in a cold war. As everyone knows, the Eastern Coalition wants to start World War for like tomorrow if they could. So they're trying to develop weapons, stuff like that, trying to get a leg up on the Unity, but the Unity is having its we're the good guys and we're pacifistic attitude. Um, but you also got Green and Blue and the Pirates who are shaking things up. Green and Blue is a megacorp turned country, um, which is the hero faction, and it is essentially doing runs in and out of the Eastern Coalition, trying to save it from pirates, from corruption by pirates, and also trying to maybe I'm going as far and advise, and maybe we're funding insurgencies. Maybe, but it's warranted in this case. Not always warranted, but warranted in this case. And we're also letting the people know of the Eastern Coalitionites know that their government is messed up, stuff like that. But anyway, um, so yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much the entire plot of the Dare Story Golden Era books. Is maintaining the peace, and the perfect world they have built over the last 20 years since World War III, as the attack line goes. Um, and Eastern Coalition's trying to get stuff it's trying to get stuff in order to break in. That'll be the constant theme for 3 books. Uh, for I plan on writing 3 books, and then the fourth one is fourth one something happened which kind of got rid of the whole dilemma. But anyway, also in Libertas Publica. It takes place in the year 14. It takes place just before the 16th century. Um, mostly in the late 15th century, and it revolves around pretty much what if the Roman Republic survived and escaped west, um, using and was more in tune with their deities, and one deity in particular, you know who, and essentially used that to really advance technology and was able to escape to Ireland, built up a fortress there, whereas an evil god was taking over of the rest of Rome into the Roman Empire. It fell, and then his influences corrupted Europe, um, and stuff like that. And pretty much at the beginning of the book, you got the good guys, Libertas, or you got the hero faction, Libertas Publica, or Republic of Freedom in Latin. Um, you know, basically safe in America. Were worried that the corrupted Europeans, not all Europeans are corrupted by the way, France is cool, um, but there are corrupted factions in Europe, were worried that they will launch a crusade across the Atlantic and invade their country in the Americas, um, and stuff like that. And they're going back between basically fighting the Cold War again, a bit more actively fighting a Cold War than the much more passive that was in real life. And and even in this game is way more. This game is still more passive than exactly how Cold Wars are fought in the Diverse and the Libertas Publica um, setting, or Libertas Publica universe as well. But anyway, so yeah, you can check those out in the description below the line. Below the line, you'll find Google Drive where you can check out the book. you can check out the 3 books I'm working on. I'm mostly working on 2 though. The Dirt Story, Life in War in 2040s, and Libertas Publica, Republic of a New Age. I'm mainly working on those now, which I just updated the Google Drive, so you can check that out. But anyway, so yeah, also don't forget to donate, so I can afford to freaking update the mass computer, update the hard drive in the mass or add another hard drive in the mass computer, put Windows 10 on it, and hope to everything that that Windows 10 will play nice, for once. If not, I'll have to find someone to obtain Windows 7, which actually shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world now. But then again, I won't have security updates, so I think I could dual boot. Let's just say things will get more interesting then, but the hard drive will help. So you can donate directly to, directly to the PayPal I use. And yeah, alright, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I guess. See you!